So we all remember those videos from like 50, 60, or even like 100 years old where people dress so elegantly for every day, right? And then we come back to reality and see jeans and a t-shirt everywhere. Well, today we're going to talk about how did that happen? How did we become so informal in our dressing? So let's dive in. Well, hello my loves, how are you all today? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Silvina, and in today's video we're going to talk about the rise of informality in fashion. And I want to take this video as an introduction of a new series that I'm going to be incorporating or introducing into my channel, in which we are going to be dissecting and analyzing the styles of the different decades of the last century and how to, transform it or translate it into modern times. So the transformation of fashion towards informality through the last century has been remarkable, driven by a multitude of different factors, but cultural shifts, I think, were the most predominant and the most pivotal in this change. In the past, formal dressing was closely tied to, respect and social status, ruled by strict dress code for work and social gatherings and daily life. However, contemporary societies value individualism, leading to a strong preference for more relaxed and comfortable clothes. So several key factors that influence this change are, first of all, is that traditional workplaces have become less formal, resulting in also more flexible dress codes. In previous decades, most professional settings required suits and ties for men and skirts and dresses for women. Today, with the advent of more flexible work arrangements, some industries have become, more relaxed in their dress codes, embracing business casual or even casual attire for work-related events. Then another factor is that fashion trends are significantly shaped by media, movies, TV, social media. So we see a lot of celebrities and influencers showing, some more relaxed and more comfortable attires, and that is widely, spread and also reproduced by society. With the spread of Western fashion and culture, especially, through media and through technology, the concept of formal dressing has become less standardized and less rigid in some parts of the world. Then another factor is that modern lifestyles prioritize comfort and convenience when it comes to clothing due to their, fast pace and demanding nature. This shift has sparked the popularity of casual and functional pieces that transition, between activities. Another factor is that sportswear and activewear have made a huge impact in casual fashion, and we can notice this when we see designers and brands incorporate, athletic wear into their collections, such as leggings, joggings, sneakers into everyday wear, blurring the lines between activewear or, sportswear and casual wear. Then we have technology and social media that have interconnected the world, allowing trends to spread more quickly. Consumers are exposed to a wide range of styles, leading to the adoption of more relaxed and diverse fashion choices. In today's globalized world, we have a greater acceptance and celebration of cultural diversity in clothing. So this has led to a wider range of styles being accepted in so many different social contexts. Then another factor is that the 21st century has placed a strong emphasis in self-expression through fashion. Casual wear allows individuals to create unique and personalized outfits that reflect their individuality and their personality. Another factor could be that even special occasions and events have also witnessed a shift to casualness. And we can see this with weddings, parties, social gatherings having a less formal alternative that also comes along with more relaxing, more comfortable, and more casual attires. And lastly, and this one is my personal opinion, so you may not agree with me, but in the past, the higher classes were the ones that dictated what was fashionable or not. I mean, it does happen nowadays still, but I think it's a little bit more flexible, and anyone can make trends even if you're not from the higher classes or aristocracy. So the more extravagant and the more intricate the piece that you wore was, the higher the status that you had. So the lower classes often had less refined and more casual or simple attire, just simply because they didn't have the money to access to those extravagant pieces. But the evolution of society and the expansion of social mobility through the decades, widening the possibility for lower class people to earn a lot of money and access to those higher social spheres, also meant that those lower class individuals also brought with them their culture, their values, and their style too. A clear example of this is, for example, Coco Chanel, who was a lower class orphan and ended up being one of the most important actors in fashion history, influencing a change in how women dress by incorporating more casual elements into her designs, taken from nuns and fishermen and naval uniforms and everyday menswear. So in essence, this transition to more informal dressing also mirrors broader societal changes, emphasizing individuality, comfort, and inclusivity. And this is something that will not stop here. As societies and cultures continue to evolve, this will continue to happen, and we'll continue to see this shift maybe to other places, not only more casual styles, but to other styles, because obviously, as always, fashion is a reflection and is a mirror of society. But I think it's also important to understand why people dress so formally back in the day compared to nowadays, and this is for various reasons. First of all, and we already talked about this, is that in many historical societies, clothing was a pivotal significator of your social hierarchy and your class. As we said, a formal attire, often consisting in luxurious fabrics and intricate details, was mainly reserved for the upper classes. And the simple reason is because the more ornate the design, the more expensive it was. And this clearly represented a social standing. So the higher classes would wear these extravagant and luxurious pieces, not only because they have access to it and they had the money to do so, but also to differentiate themselves from the lower classes. This made formal attire a way to display your social status and your wealth. Although nowadays fashion is still a way to, represent your social status or the belonging to a certain social group, it's not only relegated to the upper classes, but rather a little bit more democratized with the advancement of the production process in the fashion industry that makes clothing a little bit more accessible, meaning that you don't have to be of a certain social class to access to those things. If you have the money, you can buy it. In the past, it wasn't like that. Another thing is that in the past, dressing formally was seen as a sign of respect, especially in formal social settings or religious ceremonies or courtly events. There were stricter societal norms and expectations in regards of manners and public behavior. Dressing formally was seen as a part of adhering to proper etiquette and behaving appropriately, and was considered a way to show respect to the occasion and everyone involved. And the failure to adhere to these norms could result in social relegation or even penalties. Then also many cultures had specific dress codes in regards to religious ceremonies, rituals, and traditional events. These dress codes were followed meticulously to preserve cultural values and beliefs. Another factor is that in the past, availability of clothing and fashion choices was a lot more limited than it is today. People often had a smaller wardrobe with fewer options, and very formal attire was reserved for special occasions. In the past, people didn't have as many outfit options as we have today, not even the rich, so the outfits that they had to work with them for multiple different occasions. Dresses were very expensive because they were completely handmade, so unless you had like a lot of money and you were super wealthy, you couldn't have a specific outfit for every specific occasion that you had. So the few dresses that you had to work for everything. Can you imagine? So basically every occasion was okay for a full-length gown. But this last statement is just my personal opinion. I don't know what you guys think. Another factor, and we kind of talked about this already, is that fashion trends were heavily influenced by royal courts and aristocracy. The elite and the monarchs set the tone for fashion, and basically the rest just copied them and followed their styles. And this led for more formal clothing choices for the general population, because obviously monarchs and royals dress quite formally. Nowadays, influence comes from so many different sources, even people on the streets, so we don't have that need to, emulate formal fashion trends. Another thing is that leisure activities were often more formal and structured in the past. People attended formal balls and dances and theater performances and other social events that required for you to dress formally. Nowadays, formal events of that nature are reduced, and the average person doesn't really have that many opportunities to attend them. Therefore, they have no particular reason to have exclusively formal pieces or a very formal wardrobe. And lastly is that casual clothing as we know it today, like t-shirts and jeans, was not really prevalent in the past, and in some cases it didn't exist. Casual wear is relatively new if we compared with how long, has fashion been a part of society. Jeans, for example, although they have been around since, the late 19th century, they only became popular around 70 years ago, mid 20th century. So people didn't really have the same range of comfortable and casual pieces that we have today, which obviously contributed to the prevalence of formal dressing. But it's also a vicious circle because there wasn't many casual options because people dressed so formally, because casual pieces were not prevalent or they didn't exist. So it's like a vicious circle. And to end this video, I think it's important to remember that clothing and fashion have been heavily influenced by the values, the codes, and the technologies of their time. As societies evolved and cultural attitudes changed, the fashion landscape shifted towards more informal and more diverse fashion choices. So it wasn't something that happened overnight, it was something that continuously evolved through generations. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know down in the comment section what do you think about this topic. Lastly, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications down below, and as always I will leave the links in the description box of all of my social media so you can go check them out. I hope you have an incredible rest of your day. I will see you in my next video. Ciao ciao.